For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Oh, that's right. You got it locked to HTLA Radio 1 this Monday on Coffee and Cigarettes for the Monday Mocha. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. 41 degrees right now in the city, Central Park, and it's cloudy. But hey, it's nothing but rain predicted, so I'm okay with that. For this Monday, December 22nd, 2014, oh my gird, we're almost at HTLA Radio 2 time. Are you ready? I'm ready. Lots of good stuff on the old show today. We're remembering Robin Williams, of course, and Joan Rivers, who both died in 2014. Obama's Christmas plans, and, of course, the current state of New York City. All that and so much more, actually, today on the big program. We're sparing no expense. We're not sparing any expense. And of course, we've got the lovely Jenny in the booth today, pushing all the buttons and making everything go boom. Hello, Jenny. And of course, joining us via satellite, as always, is going to be the one, the only. That's right. Can you guess who it is? Well, I'll tell you who it is. It's the one and only Mr. Louis Lawless. Oh, yeah. So, hey, it's going to be a good one. Sit around, come on in, grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up, ladies and gentlemen, because it is indeed time for the coffee and the cigarettes. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I am your host for Coffee and Cigarettes, of course, the one, the only Christopher John Taylor in the HTLA Studio 2 for you, downtown Manhattan, New York. Again, 41 degrees, Central Park. It's not great, but you know what? Hey, it could be a lot worse. Yeah, you know it. Well, I do have to do some station business, so I might as well do that while the music rolls. If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, stop by HTLARadio1.com. That's the number one, just like us. HTLARadio1.com. Get yourself a big wet trout smack in the face of Christmas, because it's all over that website there. And, yeah, check it out. Also, be sure, coming in January 1st, we roll out the new domain for HTLARadio2.com. And you'll want to go there and check out what new shows that we are bringing, along with the new hosts and all the good stuff. So be sure you go and check that one out, because, you thought HTLA1 was good. What do you hear, too? And actually, we've even started stacking in content for 4. Yes, HTLA Radio 4. That's going to be oodles of fun, because that is HTLA's designated adult channel. That's going to be all your shock jocks and your foul-mouthed freedom lovers from all over the world, just pounding it down for you in the adult format. And yeah, that's going to be very popular, sadly, but. It is. Let's be honest. We can't lie. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. So, again, Jenny is in the booth there, bouncing around, doing good. And, of course, live via satellite, I'm informed now that we have the one, the only, Mr. Louis Lawless, the film director and actor extraordinaire. Be sure to check out his film from 1978 that he starred in. Yes, it was a B sci-fi called Planet of the Dinosaurs.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Yes, there he is. There's the man.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Again? Really?
If I go a half an hour, do I get $50,000?
Yeah, absolutely. But why would you need that much money, pray tell?
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter in the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. There's about 200 members that vote on it, and they all get. You have to give them a DVD now.
Oh, those fiends! How dare they? How dare they want a DVD?
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, Louis Lawless, got it. Jenny's writing it down as we speak.
I think it should be short and sweet.
The film or Jenny's handwriting?
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, well, we'll go with that because, hey, why can't we? Yeah, there you go. I like that. So what do you need it for again? Is it some movie or what?
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter in the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. There's about 200 members that vote on it, and they all get. You have to give them a DVD now.
A DVD, eh? Interesting. You never did actually say what the title of the new film is.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and give us the title, or
Bullshitters?
Oh, all right. Well, that's straightforward and simple enough, I guess. Well, before we get on with the show today, I also do have to mention, of course, that this episode of Coffee and Cigarettes is, as well, all of them are, proudly sponsored by Tim Hortons New York City, now with 8 fine locations to serve your coffee and baked goods needs. Oh, yeah, that's the ticket. That's the stuff right there by, in my Nova Scotia accent. That's it by, well, let's see. Big show today, the old 90-minute special, of course, for the Mondays and the Fridays on the Coffee and Cigarettes. So we've got no shortage of content to bring you. And I don't know if this was on purpose or what, but we've gone through all of our databases and files and everything here at the HTLA servers. And you know, many of you do know, of course, that Coffee and Cigarettes on Friday did not air. We subsequently did go live on Saturday with the Friday show that we couldn't put out Friday because, of course, we were attacked by Anonymous. Yes, they took down our servers and everything else. Well, here's the interesting thing now. Our IT guys have forensically gone through our systems to find out exactly what, if any, information they gained from accessing our servers. And indeed, what, if anything, they took. And the report actually just came in this morning that there was absolutely no information taken. Everything was read. You know, the read-write. Yeah, everything was read. They went through everything in our database. You know, all our clients, our advertisers, our a lot of our listeners' information, all that good stuff. But the only thing they took, and this is interesting, and I'm really ticked about it. I'm going to have to come up with something else, but the only thing that Anonymous took out of the HTLA servers there on Friday was my comedy drum. You know, my badumcha that I love hitting, all the time for the entire show, always. Yeah, so I think that it's most likely probably a situation where Anonymous wasn't being funded or directed by North Korea. It was actually, of course, by the Reverend Wayne S. Pierce of Reno, Nevada, who hates my comedy drum. There you go. And there would be one, badumcha, right there if I actually had it, but they stole it. Yes. Maybe I'll get one for Christmas. I'll get another comedy drum soundbite under the tree. Well, now, before we continue on with the show, because this is so close to Christmas, of course, being December 22nd, 2014, do have to do some shout-outs and happy holiday wishes and mentions, and I think the first one that I'm going to do is to Miss Joanne Bagnall, yes, of Nanaimo, British Columbia, Canada. I think she's in Nanaimo. Joanne's one of our avid listeners at HTLA. She always has been, and she's also a very close friend of, well, you know who.
Always with a female having a relationship, married or single, it's always better that they do the leaving. If you do the leaving, it keeps that lingering thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That guy right there, Mr. Louis Lawless.
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s, let's say, and there's 1,000. That's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
That's right. And so, yeah, shout-outs to Joanne Bagnall in Nanaimo, BC. Also, Mom and Dad, yes, Phyllis and Don Griffiths in Langford, BC, Canada, of course, actually, suburb of Victoria. We did receive the care package here at the studio about an hour ago. So just letting you know, Mom, thank you. Let's see, who else? So many. Tom Grote, yes. Merry Christmas and best of the New Year's to you, Tom. Also, Devlon Crawford, another loyal HTLA listener here every day. It doesn't matter if it's raining or snowing or what have you. It doesn't snow on her internet connection, so she is right there listening. And there she is again today, that a girl. Also, shout-outs to my beloved daughter, Kennedy. Of course, she's off in Terrace, BC. Wow, yeah, up there in snow country. She's out there, and we're all the heck way over here, so she's not actually going to be here for Christmas. So she listens to the show, too, so there's a little shout-out to you, Kennedy. You have a good Christmas, and, yeah, the check's in the mail. There you go. And if I had my soundbite, it would be ba-dum-cha, but no, of course not. So there you go. And to all the rest of the listeners of HTLA, here's a little message for you.
From all of us at HTLA Radio 1 New York, happy holidays!
Oh, yeah, there we go. They didn't steal that. Also, Kenny Wascom and his family in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Wanted to let you guys know that we've, of course, got your card and well wishes and best of the season and happy holidays to you as well. All right, now that I've got that all taken care of, let's move on with the big shoe. Yeah. And what's the most important thing to mention on the show today? Well, a lot of people are sitting here listening for the New York City status update of what's going on since 2 police officers were executed on Saturday. Yeah, but that's not going to top my list today. No. No, because there's more important things that are topping my list today. And it's got to be a remembrance of 2014 and some of the souls that we lost this year in the entertainment business. First up, number 1, of course, is comedian Joan Rivers. She was so loud and brassy and fearless, almost quit the show business completely when her act bombed at the bitter end, a tiny Greenwich Village club in the 1960s. But she tried again after another embattled comic, Lenny Bruce, sent her a 4-word note. Quote, "You're right, they're wrong." She says, "I kept that note for years in my bra." And Robin Williams. Robin said his father, a serious man, would laugh uncontrollably when the zany Jonathan Winters showed up on The Tonight Show. Any of you remember Jonathan Winters? He was one of my inspirations as a youngster, too. Yes. Well, seeing my father laugh like that made me think, who is this guy and what's he on? Robin Williams wrote in the New York Times, he was a rebel without a pause. Or put another way, they were inspirations. Joan Rivers, who died in September at the age of 81, spent the rest of her career channeling the sick humor of Lenny Bruce, puncturing the taboos of sex, death, and plastic surgery. Quote, "Oh, grow up," she'd say. And does anyone doubt the Winters was the Gollum to the manic ring that was Robin Williams? Williams' suicide at the age of 63 in August leaves a generation of stand-ups hoping to rekindle his outburst fire. We are all the products of those who inspire us. Parents, relatives, authors, entertainers, men and women, saints and sinners, great and small. Many times it is faith that propels us, or a social movement, an injustice, a politician's speech. Other times it can be as simple as the laughter of an ant who sees the world just a little bit differently and changes your outlook on life forever. Inspirations are why the things we say and what we do matter, to our children, to our friends, to our colleagues. It's a way to live a while longer, to know that a little bit of what inspired us will spark something in others, for good or bad, even after we are gone. That's what makes these annual passages remembrances so rewarding. Everyone's life is a composite of what came before, and a change agent for those still to come. For poet and author Maya Angelou, 84 years old, inspirations included giants such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and author James Baldwin. But it was a black woman called Mrs. Roberts who had the biggest influence. She was a teacher who convinced the 12-year-old Angelou, struck dumb for years by sexual abuse and the murder in the family, to speak again, and to later write. And write she did. Quote, "Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud," Angelou advised. Or later, quote, "You are the sum total of everything you've ever seen, heard, eaten, smelled, been told, forgot. It's all there." Everything influences each of us, and because of that, I try to make sure my experiences are positive. Some lives transform tragedy into moments. Former White House Press Secretary James Brady, 73, somehow survived a gunshot to the head during an assassination attempt on President Reagan back in 1981. He spent the next 33 years fighting for gun control, including successful passage of the Brady Bill, which mandated federal background checks for gun purchasers. For journalists, the legacies of former Washington Post editor Ben Bradley, 93, and Garnet and USA Today's John Seelengaller, 86, helped forge a wave of reporters and editors who sought the truth from those in power, no matter where it led them. In entertainment, 2014 saw the death of true icon Shirley Temple, 85 years old, was the biggest and most precious child star Hollywood has ever produced. Also Mickey Rooney, 93. He made more than 200 films, playing one of America's first teenagers in 15 Andy Hardy movies in the 1940s. The duo ruled during the pre-war years. Temple was Hollywood's biggest box office attraction from 1935 to 1938. Mickey Rooney followed from 39 to 41 when he was, in his much parodied words, the biggest star in the world. Even after those achievements, the memories of both mid-century superstars are naturally fading in today's digital world. That's why we feel it's important to take note of the loss of influentials such as Lauren Bacall, 89, who brought a smoldering elegance to Bogart, cigarettes, and movies. Or Polly Bergen, 84, who showed she could be a pioneering businesswoman as well as a game show panelist. Or Ruby Dee, 91, who quietly but steadily broke color barriers on stage, film, and TV. The entertainment losses this year include familiar stars and even more familiar faces. James Garner, that's another one that I grew up with all them cowboy shows. James Garner died at 86 this year. So did Eli Wallach. Richard Attenborough, 90 years old. Two James Bond villains, Jeffrey Holder, 84, and Richard Jaws Keel, 74. And the unexpected loss of course, Philip Seymour Hoffman, 46. We can easily add the influences on Joan Rivers and Robin Williams in the 1950s live TV sketches of Sid Caesar, 91, and the brilliance of Mike Nichols, 83, who before his directing career teamed with Elaine May for hipster comedy on Broadway and LP known as, yes, vinyl. Records, people. The music world has lost other big names. The gavel-voiced Joe Cocker, 70 years old, who electrified Woodstock in 1969. Bluesman Johnny Winter, 70 years old. Harmonic brother Phil Everly, 74. Punk drummer Tommy Ramone, 65. Soul artist Jimmy Ruffin, 78. And Bobby Womack, 70 years old. Cream bassist Jack Bruce, also 71. And the man who charted their ups and downs in the top 40, Casey Kasem, died at 82.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award, and we didn't.
Well, again, that's okay, because if you had, you wouldn't be here, and I'd be all alone with this terrible, terrible, terrible stuff that I do every day.
I think it should be short and sweet.
Well, yes. Yes, it should. But in this particular case, we must move on. Yes. And yes, just around midnight, there was Bobby Keys, 70 years old, who played saxophone for the Rolling Stones for more than 40 years. He must have turned on millions of people, even though a lot of them didn't know who he was, to the Stones. He was one of those hidden geniuses, 10 feet of stardom and all of that, says Keith Richards. Every town is a sports hero, but few were as revered as San Diego's Tony Gwynn, 54, who spent his entire 20-year career with the Padres, averaging a .338 batting average and holding 8 batting titles. New York and Pittsburgh fans will never forget Ralph Kiner, 91, who was a Pirate, hit more than 50 homers twice, but as an announcer that hosted Kiner's Corner at each of the Mets games. Boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter, 76, spent 19 years in prison for a murder he said he didn't commit. He should have been the champion of the world, Bob Dylan sang on his behalf. Beyond Angelou, authors ranging from mystic realist Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 87, and political scribe Joe McGinnis, 71, to British mystery writer P.D. James, 94. Leave works that will always engage readers on ebooks or devices not yet dreamed. And talk about inspirations. In the world of humor, was anything more influential than Mad Magazine, which skewered the hypocrisy of Madison Avenue under the stewardship of Al Feldstein. 88 years old. It's no surprise that the popular AMC TV show is called Mad Men. A world of notables left their mark as well. Former Washington Mayor Marion Barry, 78, who despite being busted for crack cocaine, helped find jobs and training for the city's youth. The Soviet Union's Foreign Minister Edward Shevardnadze, 86, who helped ease the way for changes that led to the end of the Cold War. And Israel's eternal hawk, Ariel Sharon, 85, who forced Jews out of settlements in failed attempts to find a peace agreement with the Palestinians. This also was a year where deaths on the streets sparked ongoing national debates and mass demonstrations over race relations and public safety. Whether it was the deaths during the encounters with police of Michael Brown, 18, in Ferguson, Missouri, or Eric Garner, 43, in New York City, or the assassination this weekend of New York City police officers Weijun Liu, 32, and Rafael Ramos, 40, by a Baltimore man. Pennsylvania State Trooper Byron Dixon, 38, allegedly by an anti-government survivalist, the fatal tensions between citizens and law enforcement were impossible to ignore. And finally, the world was horrified in 2014 by the gruesome deaths of 2 journalists and 3 aid workers who were beheaded by Islamic State radicals. Their crime, trying to bring relief to refugees or report on the unending conflict in Syria. To journalist James Foley, 40, Stephen Sotloff, 31, and aid workers David Haynes, 44, Alan Henning, 47, and Peter Kassig, 26, this story is respectfully dedicated. May their sacrifices, along with the 55 American service members in Afghanistan who died this year, serve as reminders that freedom and truth do not come easily and sometimes carry a very heavy price. And there we go. So that's my coffee and cigarettes opener today. I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to go for a quick 2-minute commercial break. And when we come back, we'll get into something, a little more fun, like North Korea.
HTLA's Coffee and Cigarettes. For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons, always fresh, always great tasting coffee.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's so quick. It's just like my car insurance. I saved 15% in just 15 minutes.
I saved more than that in half the time.
I'd unfriend you.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
15 minutes for a quote isn't how it works anymore. With Esurance, 7.5 minutes could save you on car insurance. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
I've been eating Egg McMuffins since 1984. But when I saw Taco Bell made a waffle taco, I figured I would get with the times. So I got a haircut and I got some tighter pants. Lost my flip phone, got a smartphone, even took down my Loverboy poster. Now I'm eating waffle tacos and AM Crunch Wraps, and I just made like $700 on Craigslist.
Move on from your old McDonald's breakfast with Taco Bell's exciting new breakfast menu.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
Coffee and Cigarettes, another HTLA original on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
There you go, guy. Yeah. How many times can we make you say HTLA in one bite? Yes. Well, welcome back to the show. You are listening, of course, to the Monday Mocha Coffee Cigarettes and a whole bunch of other stuff here at HTLA Radio 1 New York. Again, happy holidays, everybody. It's going to be a good Christmas, damn it. If not, I don't know, what do we do? We'll protest. Yes. Yes, let's protest. Well, a little fun story here before we get into the New York City situation. Yes, it was reported today that because, well, I guess not so much because they hacked Sony, but because they hacked HTLA here, North Korea has now been knocked right offline, news reports say. Yes, apparently the internet has had enough. They're not taking it anymore and have banned all of the IPs of all the major North Korean servers on the internet. So they're out. They've been kicked off the web. Wow. Yes, the outages to the selective nation's 4 official internet networks began on Sunday, and as of Monday, all were totally offline, Bloomberg reported today. North Korea's internet access is routed through China. However, who is behind the outages is unknown. On Friday, President Obama said he would respond proportionately to the cyber attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment, which the FBI confirmed was launched by North Korea. However, he was very clear on Sunday that the hacking was not an act of war. Speaking on CNN's State of the Union show on Sunday, he said, "I think it was an act of cyber vandalism that was very costly, very expensive. We take it very seriously. We will respond proportionately." I guess he didn't have to foot the bill for that movie they're talking about. Yeah. Well, on Sunday, North Korea's National Defense Commission threatened military strikes against the United States. That's actually pretty ballsy, because I'm not sure if many of you know this, but Korea's military, based on intelligence videos and whatnot that I've seen, because they let me in on all that at the Pentagon. No, but the videos I've seen, the military is well, shall we say, lacking in both discipline and in hardware. In fact, there's been numerous videos posted on YouTube showing kind of a behind the scenes from some North Korean citizens who have actually shown us where they had, a parade of missile trucks. They were actually cardboard cutouts. Yeah, not even kidding there. So, yeah, I don't know. They're going to go to war against the United States, apparently. Okay, well, the ill-famed cesspool of injustice is what the National Defense Commission in Korea is calling us in response to the accusation that it was behind the hacking attack. In a statement, it said, quote, "The Army and people of DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, are fully ready to stand in confrontation with the United States in all-out war, including cyber warfare space, to blow up those citadels," end quote. What? Citadels? There's citadels? I didn't know there were citadels. Louis?
You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that? Which woman are you married to or living with now?
Well, I don't know. That's right, I don't have a clue.
I think it should be short and sweet.
Well, short and sweet? Yeah, that's kind of like the cigarettes I got today. They're short and sweet.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
I know. But what can you do? And hey, do you have any idea on this North Korea thing right now?
I go a half an hour. Do I get 50,000?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you try going the half an hour and we'll see.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
I don't understand your math.
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80, let's say, and there's 1,000. That's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Well, that's probably correct. If I knew what context you were speaking in, and I don't, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll just stick with that and we'll move on. How's that?
And I finally figured out how to edit.
Good for you. That was only 30, 40 years?
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
And I'm sure I will. Yes, we will all hear the music one day. So yes, the Army and the people of the DRPRK, whatever they are, the Derpicks, are fully ready to stand in confrontation with the U.S. in all-out war, including cyber warfare to blow up those citadels. North Korea has consistently denied involvement in the attack, which included threats made to theaters and moviegoers who went to see the Sony film The Interview, a CIA spoof centered around a plot to assassinate North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Sony pulled the movie last week, but Sony lawyers said on Sunday that it would indeed be released, perhaps as a streaming movie. And I said this last week when this stuff all came out and this was going on. What did I say, coffee goers? Huh? What did I say? I said, this is all a PR stunt. That's what I said. I said, this is the next Blair Witch. Yes. Remember that movie where everybody thought these kids really went missing and the Blair Witch ate them or all that good stuff? Remember that? The ticket sales were incredible, skyrocketing through the roof. And, you know, in the world of movies, I can't think of a better way, especially in this heightened level of fear that we all live in, than to do something like this and make that movie unavailable, because now it's the must-see goddamn thing, isn't it? We've got to see the interview. What's so important? You know, if you want to talk about movies that are really horribly against North Korea, we might talk about Team America, World Police. Yes. That was a, 1998 film? And that was pretty much the open-handed smack to the face that Canadian Trey Parker gave to the world, wasn't it? Yeah. Was there an issue then? No. Did we have computers then? Yes. Oh, so what was the issue? Oh, see, it kind of doesn't make sense. That's why I'm kind of thinking that this is all Sony positioning to make this film the biggest selling film ever in history. I said it last week. I'm sticking to it today. If you agree with me, awesome. If you don't, let's wait and see what those numbers are when the numbers get released for how much that makes, in whatever way the lawyers say they are going to release it. That would be good to know. And then, of course, you got to ask yourself all kinds of the bigger questions, like, do companies have absolutely no boundaries they won't cross in order to sell a product? That would be the big question, wouldn't it? What do you think, Louis?
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Right. What do you think about North Korea here in this?
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did. And put your name up there and dress in different stuff. So fantastic. If I can be of any help, let me know. So what's the email address? Okay, for the last time, I am not a cross-dresser, not a transsexual, not gender fluid, not just stop that. No. That was a mistake on my part. All right. Well, let's move on then, shall we? Let's give you the quick insights here before we go to the New York City stuff. We're going to talk just briefly, I think, about the man who is not going to get any charges for a Milwaukee officer who shot a man 14 times. Yeah, a former Milwaukee police officer will not be charged with a crime for the shooting death of a 31-year-old man with a history of mental illness. The Milwaukee Court District Attorney's Office announced Monday. The April 30th shooting of Dante Hamilton, in a downtown park by Officer Chris Manny, inspired a series of protests in Milwaukee, including one over the weekend that led to dozens of activists being arrested after shutting down I-43. Now, if you don't remember this story, this was the young black boy who was sitting in a park in his local neighborhood, pulling a gun out of his waistband and pushing it to people's faces and swearing at them and threatening them. And 3 o'clock. Thank you. Sorry, Jenny's just waving at me with her shirt off, and it's kind of distracting. Yeah. So, Dante Hamilton, the 12-year-old who was threatening people with a gun that was later found to be a toy gun. This was the officer, of course, who just showed up on the scene and killed him, because that's what you do when somebody is in a park threatening people with a gun. There you go. So the officer will not be charged. Manny shot Hamilton 14 times. And, bam, 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 and one more for good measure, bam. There you go. Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show? Well, of course you can. Don't be ridiculous. This is an adult show. Actually, no. We should do like Naked Coffee and Cigarettes on HTLA Radio 4 when we get that rolling. We've got a couple of other adult-oriented shows that are full of graphic content, of course. Yes, all kinds of dirty nude pictures. Ba-dum-cha. Come on. That's funny. This is radio. How are you going to see the pictures? Never mind. Oh, and I do have to mention Jenny is holding up the card. Today's show is...
Powered by Procast.
See? You thought I was going to forget. I didn't forget. All you have to do is have a topless woman with a sign jumping up and down, and I will notice that. There we go. Yes. So, yeah, no charges in that, and, rightly so, I think, I don't know why it is that, well, in fairness, it's not just a rash of black people being shot. These are ongoing statistics. This is the cost of doing business every day, pretty much everywhere in America. It's what goes on, and police respond to things that they're supposed to respond to. And in this particular instance, they responded absolutely the way I or anybody else should. It's not about race. I can't stress that enough. But I guess the sheep out there just hop on the next bandwagon and go for it. Well, listen, gang, we're going to go for our second commercial break. Don't you worry. Lots of show to go, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
I've been eating Egg McMuffins since 1984. But when I saw Taco Bell made a waffle taco, I figured I would get with the times. So I got a haircut and I got some tighter pants. Lost my flip phone, got a smartphone, even took down my Loverboy poster. Now I'm eating waffle tacos and AM Crunch Wraps, and I just made like $700 on Craigslist.
Move on from your old McDonald's breakfast with Taco Bell's exciting new breakfast menu.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. And Coke refreshes you best. It's the refreshingest. Food goes better with fun, goes better with you, go better with Coke. The real live one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Yeah, that's right, you are. Yeah. We're back in the old studio here, live, of course, in Manhattan, HTLA Studio 2. 41 degrees still Central Park, still cloudy, but nothing too bad for this December 22nd, this Monday Mocha on the show today. So yes, no charges for that boy shoving guns in people's faces, even if they were plastic. Well, we're here. Jenny's here. Louie is on the line. And now we're going to have to give you the New York City update, as it were. Yes. Yeah. Well, the problem now facing the national movement of protesting police violence has challenged protesters as long as there has been protests. How do you isolate your cause from an act of violence you neither planned or sanction? There's no evidence so far that Ishmael Brinsley ever attended a rally or otherwise participated in organized opposition to several highly publicized, highly controversial police killings this year of unarmed black men. But before he gunned down 2 New York City police officers in their car Saturday, Brinsley posted angry messages on social media, including a vow to put wings on pigs as retaliation for black deaths. "They take one of ours, let's take 2 of theirs," he wrote, and mentioned Michael Brown of Ferguson and Eric Garner of Staten Island. Well, it seems to me, investigators, that if he's mentioning those 2 names, he's very much involved in the protests, although he may not have physically been at them. Next window. With those words, Brinsley, by most accounts, a mentally unstable career criminal, shifted national attention from police brutality to police safety, and seemingly slowed the protest movement's momentum. And we all remember on the Friday show, Al Sharpton's yes, the civil rights leader and TV talk show host has said the shootings are, quote, being misused by people on the right to blame elements of the protest movement, end quote. What? Does that make sense to you? I don't know. He got me. But that's what he said. Experts say that although violence is usually a bad tactic for a resistance movement of this kind of isolated, shocking incident needs not cripple it. It's not the first time something like this has happened, says Maria Stefan, a political analyst and former State Department official. That means she was a secretary once.
That was a mistake on my part. My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Are you there? I can't... What? Did you say something, Louis?
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Stefan says a legitimate protest is vulnerable to violence, not only that employed by authorities against it, but by the movement for its own ends. Violence may attract the attention of the news media and adherents of a few members in the short run, she says, but in the long run, the Molotov cocktail and the broken storefront undermine popular support. Stefan and Eric Chenoweth of the University of Denver studied more than 300 different resistance movements around the world. Nonviolence was a crucial factor in determining their success or failure, with 53% of the nonviolent movements succeeding from 1900 to 2006, compared with only 26% of those that were violent. Oh, see, there you go. So I guess it's a step back for Black America. There you go. Several groups that have been organizing marches quickly denounced the violence. The Million Hoodies movement for justice said it was, quote, deeply saddened by the policeman's death, adding, violence against any community is something that we stand against. Carmen Perez of the Justice League New York City today wrote, any act of violence is a crime against humanity. Wow, you know, can you say grandiose? Calm down. Now it's crimes against humanity. What? Okay, so now the grand jury's not good enough anymore. We're going to have to send everybody to The Hague and have the world court decide because it's crimes against humanity. You know, it's people like this, I think, that need to, step away from the soapbox and quit talking, because clearly the education level is such that they're not doing their movement any favors. Although at least it was a full and complete sentence, which most of them can't do.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yes, because you were the English teacher for the United States. Very, very nice to have you here, Louis. Good job. Esau Gardner, widow of the Staten Island man who died in a police chokehold, asked everyone who is protesting with us to support this nonviolent protest. My husband was not a violent man. What happened in New York is not part of our movement, said Pete Haviland. Yes, let's separate ourselves from that right off. National Policy Director for the Million Hoodies Group, he says, we need to continue forward. Yes, so we'll just ignore this assassination of these 2 NYPD cops because of the fire that we fueled we'll just ignore that and carry on. Right. Yeah, that's good and responsible. Yeah. Remember Crash's little, equation for all you Americans? Yes. Rights plus responsibilities equal freedom. But what do? Every time you are given the chance, you exercise your rights, but you walk away from the responsibilities. And that's all I got to say about that. When asked if the protest should stop, at least for the time being, he said, "We're not telling people not to demonstrate." I guess that's how you move forward. Many protest movements are undermined by their own, quote, violent flank. Members or followers who believe violence is necessary, or an agent provocateur, French for inciting agent. That's someone planted by the authorities to do something to give them cause to crack down. Brinsley appears to be neither, but Stefan said the challenge is the same. Distance the movement from what he did and refocus on the underlying issues of police brutality against blacks. Yes. That we might take time, Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, an African-American and former police officer who has been sympathetic to the protesters' concerns, has asked for a moratorium on protest marches until after the officers' funerals. Wow, see, there's a little respect. At a march in Harlem on Sunday night, participants did not chant Mr. Garner's last words, "I can't breathe," as they usually do. Instead, holding candles, they sang "This Little Light of Mine." This little light.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Oh, this little light. Oh, man. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey, himself an African-American, as well as chairman of President Obama's task force on policing, urged protest leaders to call for calm and not let this escalate any further. Ramsey previously had voiced concern about the danger that some more angry and fueled protests. Where the heck was I now? Oh, see. I just can't win today. Okay, yes, got it. Got the message. Jesus. You know, Jenny, just put your shirt back on and just hold up the sign. I can't, when you bounce like that with your shirt off, I can't read what it is you have on your sign. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a tough Monday. Mondays are all like that. That's it. Yes. Okay, so where are we? A New York police union has urged officers to respond to every radio call with 2 cars, no matter what the opinion of the patrol supervisor, and not make arrests unless absolutely necessary. The president of the detective union in the city told members to work in 3s on the street and wear bulletproof vests, which they are doing. I can confirm that. The unions have been in a public feud with Mayor Bill de Blasio, waste of skin, over what they describe as his lack of sympathy and support for police since Brown and Garner cases. Yeah. Haviland Adua of Million Hoodies Group said the statements by the New York Patrol Officers Union makes it seem like we're at war with them. That's not true. We want to build coalitions with police and communities that will make it safer for officers to do their jobs. Yeah, see, they're just sucking up for office space there for free. And what about that Blasio, huh? Well, the New York City mayor put aside protests after officers' deaths. He put them aside. There we go. We'll just put those aside. We'll move forward. Sound familiar? New York Mayor Bill de Blasio on Monday tried to cool the heated controversy swelling around the fatal shooting of 2 NYPD police officers, calling on New Yorkers to, quote, put aside the protests. Yes, just put it aside. Go Christmas shopping. Yes. It's time for giving. Yes, put aside your protests. Yeah. Focus on your families. Yeah. These families are now our family, and we will stand with them, de Blasio said at a fundraising luncheon today for the Police Athletic League. They are suffering unbelievable pain right now. He's talking, of course, about the police officers' families. Tensions between de Blasio and his 35,000-member police force have grown stronger since Ismail Brinsley, 28, fatally shot officers Wei-Jean Liu and Rafael Ramos as they sat in their patrol car Saturday. Brinsley, pursued by other officers, turned the gun on himself moments later because he's a pansy. Before his rampage, Brinsley purportedly posted a comment on Instagram account saying that he planned to kill police officers as revenge for the death of Eric Garner and Michael Brown. Well, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All the protesters are saying, well, this isn't about what we're talking about. This isn't about Michael Brown and Eric Garner. This isn't. And now in this guy's own words on his Instagram, this is about Eric Garner or Michael Brown. Thank you. There we go. Moving on. Some officers believe de Blasio failed to properly support police after Staten Island grand jury this month declined to indict an officer in the so-called death of Garner. When de Blasio went to the hospital in the hours after Ramos and Liu were shot, officers who gathered there turned their backs on the mayor. Yes, they did. Patrick Lynch, president of the Officers Union, said there was, quote, blood on the hands of de Blasio in his office. I think it's important that regardless of people's viewpoints, everyone realizes it's time to step back and focus on the families, de Blasio said. Yes, don't hate me. Let's look at the families. They're right there. There they are. He's going to be president one day. You watch. He's perfect. Look at this. Distraction. Oh, look at the poor families. It's time to pause the political debates and put aside the protests and move forward. Gotta move forward, man. Gotta move forward.
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Well, that's good. You didn't answer the phone, and now you can move forward.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you gotta hear it.
I will one day, I'm sure. Earlier Monday, Police Commissioner Bill Bratton rejected claims that de Blasio has failed to sufficiently support his officers and thus increase the dangers officers face on the street. I don't believe that at all, Bratton told NBC's Today, adding that the department in 2014 received over $400 million outside of our normal budget to improve our training, to improve our facilities, and to acquire technology. Because there's no safer communities than a bunch of cops walking a beat staring at their hands. Yes, everybody gets an iPhone. That's what we need. A union message called on NYPD officers to respond to every radio caller now with two cars.
Every call with 2 cars.
No matter what the opinion of the patrol supervisor, and not to make arrests unless they're absolutely necessary. That's right. Adding to the tension, police were searching for a reputed Brooklyn gang member who posted online a photo of a man opening fire into a marked police cruiser. Local media, including the New York Post, reported this today. Devon Coley, an 18-year-old unarmed black man, wrote, quote, 73 next, end quote. An apparent reference to the city's, actually it's not apparent, it's obvious, reference to the city's 73rd precinct on his Facebook page today. Officer safety concerns are not limited to New York. A directive warned officers in Newark not to patrol alone and to avoid people looking for confrontations. And let me tell you, I said this actually on the Friday show that we had on Saturday. It's really tense in the city because, like I said, you know, the sidewalks here are like 30 feet wide. You take any square, 30 feet out in midday in Manhattan here, you've got 100 people. The sidewalks are packed, and everybody moves in these kind of rivers and groups, and you just go with those or you don't go anywhere. And it's funny to me because, coming from Canada, when I got here, and I'm walking around the streets of New York and Times Square and all that good stuff and taking everything in, nobody looks at you. Nobody. No. And in fact, the stranger or more original you may look, i.e. street people, they will look at you less. So nobody's kind of aware of anybody. But let me tell you, in these last 2 days, Sunday, Monday, everybody is staring everybody in the eyes. Everybody's paranoid. Everybody is, certainly dealing with an elevated level of anxiety and, in a lot of cases, animosity. So it's pretty kind of surreal around here, kind of scary. In Philadelphia, Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey urged leaders of protests over the death of Gardner and Brown, an unarmed black man fatally shot by a white officer in Ferguson, yada, 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 call for calm and let's not escalate this any further. In Boston, Police Commissioner William Evans said police issued an alert warning about officers in the New York City slayings and added that the department had issued several alerts following the Ferguson grand jury decision. And that's an ongoing story, and of course, we'll keep you updated on that fun. But, really freaky and kind of strange and weird here in the city today. Yeah. Which is why I'm glad to be up here in Studio 2 with Jenny in the booth and Louie on the horn.
All right, go a half an hour. Do I get $50,000?
If you stay on the line, yes, I'm scared.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, I do. Oh. Yes, old Jenny, she just brought me in a nice, fresh top and cup of Timmy Hortons. And of course, as you all know, this and every episode of Coffee and Cigarettes is partially brought to you by Tim Hortons New York City, now with 8 locations to serve your coffee and snacked good needs. Well, got to go for our third commercial break, but when we come back, I've got some Canadian getting shot at the U.S. border news. Yeah. And, of course, Obama, using another executive order, a memo, is spending all kinds of money that we don't have. We'll be back in 2, gang.
HTLA's Coffee and Cigarettes. For the best talk, there's only one. HTLA Radio 1.
It could be 7 in the morning.
Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Murph.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee.
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
4th down, Coach. What do we do?
I'll tell you what we do.
I want you to go on the field. Look for anyone with an O.
Let's kill them with kindness. Jimmy, I want you to make balloon animals. Tyler, make little tea cozy, something fun.
Are you okay?
We will win this for Mother Russia!
Coach, eat a Snickers.
Why is that, Chief?
You get a little loopy when you're hungry.
Better.
Now let's go work!
Go get him, guys!
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed.
And Coke refreshes you best.
It's the refreshingest.
Food goes better with, fun goes better with, you go better with Coke.
The real live one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
Down your glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
Coffee and Cigarettes, another HTLA original on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Oh, thank you, Guy. Welcome back to the show, gang, on this Coffee and Cigarettes Monday Mocha 90-minute special, you betcha. So another 2 segments to go. Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff here, so I won't let you down. In the booth with me is the topless sign-holding Jenny in the via satellite link there, of course, the one, the only Louis Lawless, the man himself, listening to music. Oh, I guess we are too now. It's gone up a degree in Central Park, 42 now, and it's raining. I love rain, because that means no snow on this December 22nd, 2014. Geez, 2 more shopping days until it's all over, gang. Are you ready? I'm ready. Amazon, that's the ticket, baby. That's right. No Walmart or malls for me. I don't want to get stuck in a die-in. Yeah, you heard about those? The die-ins? The protesters go into the malls and just all lay on the floor? It's like, we know you don't have jobs, but do you really have to loaf around the floor? Come on. Well, we are back, and I've got some interesting little tidbits for you today. Yes, I do, on the Obama front. And yes, he is spending his Christmas in Hawaii, of course. Mm-hmm. That's where they're from, of course. So they're in Hawaii at their family home, celebrating the holiday season. And it's funny, you know, after his threats there on the Thursday show, the Thursday Double-Double, I told you about his picking up the phone and swinging his balls and telling Raul Castro that he was going to start being nice with Americans and give us the cigars back and everything else, or there was going to be trouble. And indeed, you are going to be democratic, Cuba. Yes, you are. That's the way it's going to be. And, of course, that was all political posturing. It seems, actually, that Obama actually has a golf date set with Mr. Castro. Yes, a golf date. They're going to play golf together. So do you buy the story? Yeah, didn't think so. I think there's other deals going on. So, Mr. Castro, I'll give you, I don't know, $200 million US, and you just give me your country. Yeah, it's a good deal, right? Why not? Well, President Obama may be on his annual end-of-the-year holiday in Hawaii, but political fundraising goes on. Yes, it does. Obama put his name to fundraising appeal emailed Monday to members of Organizing for Action. That's, of course, the BarackObama.com cult. Yes, we'll call that a cult. The political action group formed from the remnants of his presidential campaigns in 2007. Quote, I have 2 years left as your president, Obama says in the missive. I'm ready to give it all I've got. He's going to give it all he's got because he hasn't done that so far in the first 6 years of presidency.
That was a mistake on my part. My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
I know it did. I was there. I helped you with it. I helped you make it. I did most of your PR and branding. I know.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Citing past Organizing for Action efforts on issues like healthcare, immigration, climate change, all those things that he got elected on. Well, he's still promoting those, you bet. Because we can, you can elect me for a third term. I'm just that good, I'm sure, is what he's thinking. In every one of those fights, we've been up against very powerful opponents with plenty of money to spend to block our progress. Yes, because it's money that blocks your progress, not Republicans who actually read the crap you try and pass in the House and then vote no. No, it's all money. We don't have enough money to pay them off, or however the system of government here works. He closes by saying you've proven that the grassroots movement like the OFA can take them on. Yes, isn't it nice to know your political donation dollars are not going away, not getting wasted on Castro and golf? Mm-hmm. Yes. And I did report to you just a few moments ago when we came back from the break that, of course, it's raining right now in the city. And I was happy because I like rain because it's not snow. Well, the latest word here is that, on the weather front, of course, is that a rainstorm is going to bring a wet Christmas to eastern USA. Yes, it is. A mix of drenching rain, severe thunderstorms, and howling winds will bring a wet Christmas to most of the east, while snow and rain hits the northwest and the Rockies. Ah, that's good. It's a good thing, trust me. No snow. I'm from Canada. I've had enough of snow. Don't want no more. There we go. So now moving on to a Canadian who was just shot at the U.S. border. A Canadian man shot early Sunday by U.S. border agents after he waved what appeared to be a handgun at them on the Ambassador Bridge was actually holding a replica of a handgun, authorities said late Sunday. So, in essence, he's an unarmed black Canadian man. Two agents with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP. Yeah, here's a new acronym for you. Fired their service-issued weapons in response to an individual on foot rapidly approaching the CBP officers, wielding in his hand, apparently, what appeared to be a black handgun, said an email statement late Sunday by Ken Hammond Sr., a chief officer at CBP Public Affairs in Washington, D.C. One officer fired 3 rounds, the other fired 1, according to Hammond's statement. 1 round hit the subject in the arm. Investigators determined that the individual was holding a replica of a handgun. The incident on the Ambassador Bridge, which links Detroit to Windsor, Ontario, began about 3 a.m. Sunday as a man approached the inspection booth on the Detroit side. He stopped, got out of his car, and then walked in the inspection lanes while waving what authorities first said appeared to be a handgun. The man did not drop it, even as Border Patrol officers ordered him to do so, according to an earlier press release from the CBP, and then pointed the apparent weapon at them. That's when Border Patrol agents fired at the man, who fell to the ground. The man was taken to hospital and was released into custody after his treatment for his injuries, U.S. authorities said. The individual was a Canadian citizen, the statement also said. There we go. So take note, black people. Yes, take note, black people of Ferguson and black people of New York and, well, hell, black people everywhere. This was a white Canadian who just got shot for waving a gun. See? It's that whole situational response thing? Yeah, thanks. Just what I said there. Hammond said in his statement that the incident was investigated by the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General. Ooh. Wow, how does one Canadian dude rank the Inspector General's nose in there? That's a good question. Yes. And the Detroit police investigators reviewed video of the shooting and interviewed 5 witnesses, Hammond said. Shortly before the Ambassador Bridge shooting, Windsor police reported encountering the same man exiting a black Ford Explorer. Well, see, the Ford Explorer was black. That's why they shot him. Yes. With what was believed to be a firearm in his hand at a McDonald's. The Windsor Star reported this. When Windsor police officers shouted for him to drop it, the man reportedly told them, "Why haven't you shot me yet?" According to the Windsor Star, before he drove away from the scene. And isn't that nice? You know, Canadian police, they were so nice. You know, "Why haven't you shot me yet?" Gets in his car and drives away. And of course, being Canadian police, we let him because, you know, he's just having a bad day or something. You know, there's no reason to shoot him in the head. Yeah. Christmas traditions explained. Ah, yes, the eggnog. Huh? That's what I got for you coming up here. You betcha. Because I'm down with traditions. You know, that's what I do. That's my thing. Yes, the stockings hung from the what is it? Yeah, fireplace, whatever. Yeah, with care. All that stuff. Yeah, that's me. I'm all big into traditions, as you can plainly tell.
Wait a minute, I got lost. H-T-L-A. Oh, H-T-L-A. Hell is that?
That's you giving me time so I can figure out the word mantle.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
It is. Well, hey, do you guys know where eggnog came from? Well, for some, actually most, I'm going to say. Well, no, because there's so many Islamics now. They don't like eggnog, I don't think. Well, it's not really Christmas until you've had a glass of eggnog, is it? Well, for this Irish boy, it sure isn't. The frothy beverage is made out of eggs, sugar, cream, and often flavored with nutmeg and, well, yeah, sometimes, if you're lucky, spiked with some alcohol. The beverage originated as a wintertime drink for the British aristocracy. Frederick Douglass Opie, yes, a food history professor at Babson College, wrote in his blog, Food as a Lens, only the wealthy could afford the ingredients, and they added expensive liquors like brandy and sherry to keep the drink from spoiling, according to Opie. Eggnog came to the U.S. colonies in the 18th century, where the drink was changed. Instead of adding the heavily taxed brandy or wine, colonists got smart and added rum. Yes. I wonder if Captain Morgan was around then. Well, the drink of the marginalized, which was traded from the Caribbean, according to Opie. What about the name eggnog? Opie wrote that the term is a combination of two colonial slang words. Rum is referred to as grog, and the bartender served it in small wooden mugs called noggins. The drink first became known as egg and grog, and later shortened to the now ever-popular eggnog. So there you go. Who says you don't get educated on this show, huh? Oh, and let's move now to some Christmas decorations, shall we?
That was a mistake on my part.
No. Christmas decorations. I think the connection's bad.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Louis, it's Christmas time. I'll give you that special gift. You just fire them away. Just unload. Give us your worst. Are you still there? Hello?
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
All right, well, let's move to Christmas decorations because, me, yes, yours truly, I got tasked with the entire house. This year, I did the inside like it's, I don't know, what is it, a Christmas story. Yes, I hit everything. I did the trees. I decorated the big wooden beams. We've got 35-foot ceilings in our house, so, of course, I'm up there 30 feet up decorating beams because, that's how I roll. I'm apparently very good at it, too. The good old Kate there, she's like, you're just absolutely insane at decorating. She's actually jealous. Yeah, she's a bit jealous of that. But, hey, I guess that's a good thing because I can decorate anybody around the corner. Mm-hmm. And no, is that gender fluid? Am I a homosexual because I can decorate well? No, it's called taste.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, this brings us to this story, in which a company has created a Twitter-controlled Christmas tree. Yeah, see, they're trying to one-up me. They can't beat me in overall look and style, so now they're going to throw in, oh, well, Twitter is controlling our tree, so screw you. Yes, if controlling your own light display just isn't enough for you this holiday season, you're in luck. Oxford Communications, a communications agency in Lambertville, New Jersey, created a tree, menorah, Christmas village, and miniature train in the lobby of their office building that all respond to different hashtags on Twitter. It's really fun to sit there and know that we could have people in China who are seeing this and interacting with our tree, Sean O'Grady, a public relations specialist for the company, told us today. Users that tweet hashtag joy to at OXMAS_TREE, Oxmas Tree, will light up the green lights on the 9-foot Christmas tree. For example, while hashtag comfort lights up all the red ones. Tweeting hashtag candle to at Oxmas Tree illuminates the menorah. There you go. There are more than 1,000 LED lights in the display, according to O'Grady. They are controlled by a microcomputer that processes the tweets and converts them into electronic impulses that manage the light strands and devices attached to the holiday display, he said. Man, that makes me wonder, when is Guantanamo Bay gonna come online and you can tweet torture any suspected terrorists? Wouldn't that be fun? Tweet torture?
And I finally figured out how to edit.
Tweet torture, Louie.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
I want to tweet torture, damn it. Well, the idea for the tree came out of a meeting where the company discussed different ways to use Twitter and public involvement to raise awareness and funds for a cause. The concept of a public display that could be gamified to respond to different tweets emerged, O'Grady said. The lobby light display is a small test of that larger idea, he said, and the company is excited to explore how it might be put to work with a larger project like electrocuting terrorists at Guantanamo Bay. Yes. Tweet a terrorist. There you go.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah, me too. Merry Christmas. The company shared additional hashtags and their controls. So, again, if you want hashtag comfort, that will give you the red lights on the tree. Hashtag joy will give you green lights. Hashtag wish, yes, to Oximus tree, will activate blue lights. Hashtag snow activates white lights. If you hashtag twinkle, it makes the lights blink when used in addition to these commands of joy, wish, snow, and comfort. Also, you can hashtag star, which will activate the star atop the tree. You can use hashtag candle, which activates the menorah. And you can use hashtag secret, which activates a special light. Ooh, they don't tell us what that does. Ooh. And, of course, if you're like me and just want to go all balls to the wind and give it all your goodness, you can hashtag brilliant, and it will enable all the features at once. Kaboom. There you go. Now, if that isn't the kind of fun stuff I'm talking about, I don't know what is. Yeah. Still waiting for that Guantanamo one, though. I want to hashtag brilliant. Yes, I do. Well, no coffee and cigarettes on December 22nd, 2014 would be complete unless I gave you some stocking stuffer gadgets under $100. Yes, because we've all got money to throw hundreds and hundreds of dollars into all our family's stockings. Yes. I guess I haven't kept up with the economy and jobs and unemployment and cost of living and all that other good stuff. No, let's stay with the holiday spirit, shall we? We're not bitter. This isn't Grinch. Some of the best tech gifts of the year come in small packages and with fairly small price tags to boot. They're calling $100 small price tag. There you go. Here are some great stocking stuffer gadgets and tech toys that work perfectly as add-on bonuses or even as presents for people who might not be expecting them. Our first little bit here takes us to the keyboard for all. Yes, technology is supposed to make our lives easier, right? Well, according to a recent survey, some 65% of us are distracted by messages from one device when using another. A message here, a Facebook post there, and if you're planning on getting any actual work done on a computer while all this is going on, you're pretty much screwed. Well, never fear. Logitech's K480 multi-device keyboard, $50, is like a magic wand that brings them all together and lets you tap away at a single set of keys for up to 3 different devices. That means your tablet, smartphone, and computer can all get the attention they deserve. It works with all platforms, so it doesn't really matter if you have an Android, iPad, PC. This one gadget lets them all play together in a synced-up sandbox. And it's cool looking, too. You should check it out. Well, our next item is sticky selfies. Yeah. There's no stopping the selfie craze, and if you can't beat them, you might as well give them your selfie-snapping friends something that will make them even more obnoxious while they're mugging in public. The selfie stick for $29. It lets photo addicts extend their reach and capture as many people as possible in their Facebook-bound photos. There you go. And the big sound in a tiny package, the Kinivo X100 mini portable speaker set for $30 is another tiny gadget, but this one can belt out some seriously huge sound. You can use it just about anywhere to blast your music with deep bass clarity and a 360-degree surround sound. The cord is built in, so there's no way to lose it, and the battery keeps the tunes flowing for an impressive 6 hours. Yeah. And Netflix, YouTube, Hulu Plus, Pandora, HBO Go, and Google Music to any old HD TV with Google's Chromecast. Castaway delivers stunning HD content from a gadget no bigger than your average USB drive. Just pair it with an app on your smartphone or computer and sit back and enjoy, all for just $35. And hey, model light-up charger. Huh? All of the phone accessories you have, I'm going to bet that your charging cord is the most boring. It's just a cord. There's nothing you can really do to make it cool, right? Wrong. Modal's lighted charging cable, $15, is lined with super bright LEDs that light up to show your charging status of your phone, and it happens to look pretty neat. It's a master of form and function, and it puts just about every other charging cord to shame. And you can have it now. Oh, yes. There you go. So, yeah, we'll put the link in the old show notes there for you if you want to go check those out. They're pretty good. And going to go for our last commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll close it up with some, Obama and Cuba. Yes, that's always fun. Back in 2.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Hey, what time do we have to be there?
Not till 6:30. We've got some time. Want to grab a snack?
Not enough. I'm starving. I need like an actual lunch.
Yeah, like a sandwich.
Why don't we go to Tim's? Do you think there's one around here? Obviously.
It's lunch done right with Tim Hortons' new turkey chipotle sandwich on a perfectly toasted cheese bagel. Just $3.99 for a limited time.
Always Tim Hortons.
4th down, Coach. What do we do?
I'll tell you what we do.
I want you to go on the field. Look for anyone with an O. Let's kill them with kindness. Jimmy, I want you to make balloon animals. Tyler, make little tea cozies. Something fun.
Are you okay?
We will win this for Mother Russia!
Coach, eat a Snickers.
Why is that, Chief?
You get a little loopy when you're hungry. Better. Now let's go work! Go get him, guys!
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. And Coke refreshes you best. It's the refreshingest. Food goes better with fun, goes better with you, go better with Coke. The real live one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You're listening to Coffee and Cigarettes with Christopher John Taylor on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
From all of us at HTLA Radio 1 New York, happy holidays! Oh, yeah. That's right, happy holidays. We're back, and actually, we're out of time. So we got to roll with the outro music there. I want to thank everybody for listening today. Rest assured, I will try and find another drum beat. That damned Anonymous stole mine. And, yeah, it's going to be a good week. So don't forget to catch Coffee and Cigarettes tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. For the Tuesday hoedown, or whatever it is I'm calling it. What is the Tuesday show? Anyway. I want to thank Jenny in the booth for all her topless bouncing, and, of course, the one, the only Louie Lawless, all the way from the beautiful Mill Bay Studios in Mill Bay, British Columbia, for joining us here today. It's great having you here. And, yeah, don't worry about the Obama and Cuba thing. Yeah, it's nothing. They're going to play golf. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, it's not even a story. Who cares? All right, well, we're going to be out of here. And you guys have a good rest of the day. And tonight, Straight Talk with Kate and Crash coming up 8 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. We will catch you all later, gang.
From all of us at HTLA Radio 1 New York, happy holidays!